Hi everyone, my name is YooJung Ahn. I'm the head of design at Waymo. I wish we could be together in person, but I'm super excited to be here virtually to share more on how we design our Waymo driver, so thank you so much for tuning in. We have a lot of ground to cover today, but first, I'd like to take a few moments to introduce you to Waymo, who we are, what we are doing, and why we are doing it. We are a self-driving technology company with a mission to make it safe and easy for people and things to get where they are going. Fully self-driving vehicles hold the promise to improve road safety and offer new mobility options to millions of people. Driving today is not exactly as safe as it could be, which is why safety is at the core of Waymo's mission. Globally, there are close to 1.35 million deaths every year due to vehicle crashes, with more than half of those people being pedestrians, motorcyclists, and cyclists. And it goes beyond fatalities. There are over 50 million injuries worldwide caused by vehicle crashes every year. There's a clear theme to the vast majority of these incidents: human error and inattention. In fact, 94% of crashes in the US involve human choice or error. Whether it's speeding, distraction from our phones, lack of sleep, or drunk driving, there are a lot of factors that lead to these statistics. Over the last 10 years, we put our technology through the world's longest and toughest ongoing driving test to help address these grim statistics. We've self-driven more than 20 million miles on public roads, over 10 billion miles in simulation, and across over 25 cities in the US. That's hundreds of years of human driving experience that benefits every vehicle in our fleet. Let's take a deeper look at our history. We started back in 2009 as a Google self-driving car project. In the early days, we were focused on developing the core capabilities of self-driving and understanding the challenges. In 2011, we started developing all of our own hardware in-house alongside our software after realizing nothing off the shelf was as advanced as we needed. In 2013, we made a key decision to pivot from developing a driver assistance system to exclusively pursuing fully self-driving technology. So we took a clean sheet approach and developed Firefly, a vehicle that could move people around cities with no human driver. 2 years later, in 2015, we completed the world's first fully autonomous ride on public roads with Firefly in Austin, Texas. In 2016, with that landmark ride under our belts, we transitioned from being part of Google and became Waymo, an independent company within Alphabet. Since then, we've forged key partnerships with OEMs like Fiat Chrysler and Jaguar Land Rover, welcomed members of the public into our fully self-driving cars, launched our self-driving trucking program, and most recently, we began offering fully driverless rides to our riders. Throughout this experience, we've been focused on building the Waymo driver, which is how we refer to our self-driving technology. There are two pieces to the Waymo driver: hardware and software. On the hardware side, we have a sensor suite that includes LiDAR, cameras, radar, and a powerful AI compute platform. Combined, these sensors give our vehicles a 360-degree view of the world over 300 meters away. On the software side, the brain of our self-driving vehicles, we take all of the information our sensors collect to answer 4 key questions. Where am I? What's around me? What will happen next? And what should I do? Together, our hardware and software work in concert to paint a complete picture of the world around the car and enable us to navigate roads safely. Our Waymo driver can be deployed across a number of different business applications globally, serving many different industries. Ride-hailing, is an important application of our driver and our main focus. Our technology can also make trucking safer and more efficient, and fill a pressing need for more drivers in many parts of the world. Delivery is another important opportunity, something we are testing now with partners like AutoNation to deliver car parts rapidly to their dealerships. Our OEM partners are also interested in sharing the Waymo Driver with their customers through personally owned cars, and we will work with them to bring that application to life. These applications fall into two categories: moving people, which we will do through Waymo One, and moving things, which we will do through Waymo Via, our new sub-brand focused on commercial goods delivery. Now that you have a sense of Waymo and the driver we are building, I'd like to dive into what we are here to talk about: design, and how we think about it at Waymo. Our process is guided by our design principles and language. Developing design that is consistent yet flexible is important for the tech industry because things change so fast, from the technology to the products. At Waymo, we follow 4 core design principles for all of our products and have a design language which evolves over time based on our strategy. Our design principles are simple, honest, approachable, and delightful. Simplicity is embedded into our core at Waymo. We make it simple and easy for anyone to get from A to B, so our design should be easy to understand and free of unnecessary elements. Next is honest. We put the utmost consideration and thought into every part of our technology and service, and all of our designs should be honest and thoughtful. Then, approachable. It's important that all of our designs be easily accessible, sincere, and friendly to attract curious new customers and create a sense of community. And finally, delightful. Our design should reflect our optimistic goals and ambitions for the future by inspiring wonder, delight, and intrigue. Design language goes hand in hand with brand identity and defines characteristics, colors, and material applications of Waymo's products, whether they be a physical product like a vehicle or digital products such as the passenger screens in our vehicles. Design language really comes down to guiding how the product looks and how it makes people feel. Good design language requires strategic embodiment of brand values and design principles and can't be established in a day. Our current design language is made up of 4 different pillars: pure, flow, balance, and contrast. Keeping the design pure and simple is important for the Waymo Driver, especially since we have several different vehicle platforms from different OEMs. Because each of these OEMs has its own design language, which is beyond our control, we have to keep our design as pure as possible to be harmonious without aesthetic conflict. Flow design has both functional and visual benefits for the Waymo Driver. It allows us to improve aerodynamics and reduce the visual mass. Balance is important for the Waymo Driver's field of view and mass distribution, but also is directly related to how users perceive the safety and comfort of our vehicle, since stable and balanced design gives people a sense of safety. Lastly, contrast helps to simplify various different elements of the Waymo Driver and has great functional benefits. For example, we use both white and black coloring across our sensor suite, and both have different functional advantages. To blend Waymo's design language with all other requirements of the technology and platform, we constantly develop concepts and verify on the vehicle. While this is our current state, our design language evolves over time, which is exactly what I want to cover next. Let's take a quick look at how our design has changed over the last 10 years across 3 distinct phases, 5 generations of the Waymo Driver, and over 6 vehicle platforms. Since our inception, we've moved through three main stages of design: retrofitting, building from the ground up, and applying our driver across multiple OEM platforms. When we first started in 2009, design was very limited. Our exterior sensors were mostly off the shelf and exposed on the car. The only design items were interior displays and controls. This was more of a prototype stage, where we were solely focused on achieving basic functionality. Following our retrofit stage, we then designed our own self-driving car from scratch, Firefly. Building a self-driving car from the ground up was a huge learning for us from both a technical and customer standpoint. After this valuable experience, we realized that in order to scale our fleet faster, we should focus on the technology and building our driver instead of building a car. To do that, we partnered with OEM companies like Fiat Chrysler and Jaguar to provide us with custom vehicles that have enabled us to launch our ride-hailing service and commercial goods delivery. This has been a huge design challenge, since we've had to ensure Waymo's design and branding is represented across the multiple different OEM platforms, so that users can easily identify the Waymo driver. Also, how we approach design is fundamentally different. Whereas OEMs are selling a car, we are selling a service. Now, what I'm most excited for today. Let's take a closer look at our 5th generation Waymo driver and its design details. With this latest generation, we're motivated to celebrate the Waymo driver as a unique design element, separate from the vehicle platform, which maintains its own design identity. Here's what that looks like on our new vehicle platform, the Jaguar I-Pace. Compared to previous generations, our sensors and compute are even more powerful than before. Every part is designed for scale, and it comes with a distinctive Waymo look. What we are building is not a concept car. We are designing our driver for the real world to be used by our thousands of Waymo One riders as well as our B2B partners. Here you can see the breakdown of our custom-built hardware that makes up the 5th generation Waymo driver: LiDAR, cameras, and radar, as well as compute. Each of them is more powerful than the previous generation and equipped with enhanced capabilities. First, let's look at our new family of LiDAR, which has an even higher resolution across a wider range. As one of the Waymo driver's most powerful sensors, our LiDAR paints a picture of its surroundings in great detail. It sees the world in 3D and can see in the dark of night without any illumination. Our 360 LiDAR, which is located in our dome, can see up to 300 meters away and provides a bird's-eye view of the cars, cyclists, and pedestrians surrounding the vehicle. At the same time, our latest perimeter LiDARs, placed at 4 points around the vehicle, offer unparalleled coverage with a wide field of view to detect objects close to the vehicle. Our new vision system, including 29 cameras, provides our Waymo driver with higher resolution images and greater perspective. Our cameras also have overlapping field of view directly around our vehicle. We've assembled them with cleaning systems and heaters for the best performance in any weather condition. Our new long-range cameras and 360 vision system now see much farther than before, allowing us to identify important details like stop signs greater than 500 meters away. In addition, our new perimeter vision system works in conjunction with our perimeter lidars to give the Waymo driver another perspective of objects close to the vehicle. Our new peripheral vision system helps us reduce blind spots caused by parked cars or large vehicles. These new cameras enable us to peek around objects, such as a truck driving in front of us, to see what might be there and to make a decision about what to do. Together, these various types of cameras allow us to make decisions earlier and faster with even more information than we've ever had before. And lastly, our radar. Waymo's new state-of-the-art high-resolution imaging radar, located in 6 places around the vehicle, tracks both static and moving objects, can see small objects at greater distances, and distinguish between closely spaced objects. Radar complements LiDAR and cameras with its unique capabilities in weather conditions such as rain, fog, and snow. Now, let's take a look at how these sensors are applied on the eyepiece. On the loupe, we have a combination of our 360 LiDAR, 360 cameras, long-range cameras, and 2 radars. On the front, we have perimeter LiDAR and cameras. On both sides of the vehicle, there is a combination of radar, perimeter LiDAR and cameras, and peripheral cameras. And on the rear side of the vehicle, we also have perimeter LiDAR and cameras, peripheral cameras, and radars. With this understanding of our sensor suite and our new vehicle, let's talk about design considerations that went into both the individual sensors as well as the Waymo driver as a whole. The first area we focus on is how design can optimize the performance and safety of our hardware in addition to providing aesthetic benefits. As we just discussed, we have many different hardware modules that need to be applied to our vehicles. Finding the best location for all the sensors is an important first step for the design. Then we need to carefully design each hardware piece and the housings to provide an uninterrupted field of view. Throughout the process, we are working with engineering to find the best possible position, angle, and hardware that satisfies both the function and design. So while some may say our sensors look too obvious on the vehicle, they are designed and placed where they need to be to help maximize capability and safety. Temperature and weather is another area we have to think about in our design. When you have many different types of hardware constantly running, the parts generate heat. On top of that, we need to think of the varying weather conditions our system could encounter. It can be hot in Phoenix, cold in Detroit, and wet in San Francisco, all at the same time. And our Waymo driver needs to be able to function in all of these conditions consistently. We also test against the most extreme of conditions. This is one of our early engineering vehicles that we took to Death Valley to do thermal testing. As you can see, the temperature was 50 degrees Celsius. It's very hot. To design each part to perform without failure, we need to consider each of them carefully. Often, we add ducts, fans, vents, heaters, and cleaning and air nozzles to them. This process can only be done by radical collaboration between design and engineering. It's not easy to design such a complex system for all weather conditions, but it's one of the most important aspects of functionality, especially for this 5th generation, which is built to help us scale across a diverse set of locations. Using design to optimize performance doesn't stop at the design of the hardware itself. We also need to find the best colors, materials, and finishes for each part. Since our vehicles will be used for ride-hailing, The interior materials should be more durable and cleanable than personal cars. The exterior felt finishes need to work for all weather. And the sensors and housings should be water and dust resistant, optically acceptable, and meet thermal requirements. After various testing, we can spec the materials and finishes. A lot goes into optimizing our current technology's performance, but we also want to make sure we're designing a system that has room to evolve as our technology does. To do this, we've made the hardware modules usable for several different locations, prioritize simple and pure forms to integrate them harmoniously, and design for efficient packaging. We've done this across each of our sensors. As you see here, we've placed our perimeter LiDAR in 4 different places around the vehicle. We've done the same with our vision system. And with our radar, the simple geometric shape enabled multi-use of the module. For the I-Pace, we have 6 identical radar modules for 6 different locations. The next area we focus a lot of time on is designing our driver with a Waymo look and feel, and applying Waymo's design language to our hardware and enclosure design. This gives us a consistent look and feel and cohesive branding across platforms and products, and portrays us as a technology company as opposed to a car company. Since we are building the driver as a separate design element from the car, we want to celebrate our sensors distinctly from the vehicle platform and embrace Waymo's own design language. We try to find a way to show Waymo's branding through our design details. It can be the form of the design, the application of logos and word marks, or just simple accent colors. You can see this in the way we've designed our roof pod. It has a simple shape, an accent color, and our word marks. In the dome, we can also display the Waymo logo to help identify that the vehicle is powered by the Waymo driver. We've also branded our individual sensors on the front, sides, and rear, again with coloring and word marks. We embrace our own Waymo branding and want our driver to look and feel distinct from the base vehicle, so that no matter the platform, you can recognize it as the Waymo driver. This fits into our next design goal of ensuring that our driver can be adapted across multiple OEM platforms, not just custom-made for one. Whether it's a minivan or SUV on the passenger side, or a van or semi-truck on the commercial goods side, the Waymo driver can be applied to many different platforms with many different requirements. These platforms also serve a variety of use cases, from ride-hailing to local delivery to long-haul trucking. In order to build comfort and trust among our various users, we work to build a cohesive brand identity for the Waymo driver and establish consistency and similarity across each. We adapt our driver to these various platforms through a collaborative process that looks like this. The base vehicle platforms are prepped for the self-driving system by the OEMs. They ensure the vehicles are compatible for the Waymo driver and add things like cutouts and mountings for our hardware and for software features such as braking and steering. Then our hardware is designed and applied to the vehicle and tested and validated. That process is the same for all of the platforms we work with. Here's what they look like in their original form. And this is what they look like with the Waymo driver. Finally, although the Waymo driver requires a highly complex tech-driven design approach, we can't forget that it is planned for and used by people, so we embrace and prioritize a human-centered approach. We've added moving LEDs to our dome so that it can also act as a mechanism for riders to identify the vehicle day and night and recognize which vehicle is theirs when there may be more than one Waymo car waiting. Another way we've made our high-tech product human-centered in our latest system is how we've packaged our compute. Our engineering team successfully reduced the volume of our even more powerful compute under the trunk, so that passengers will be able to use the trunk space, which wasn't available in our previous platform. Riders will be able to use it to transport groceries, luggage, folding wheelchairs, golf clubs, and everything in between. This is one of the accomplishments we are really proud of that not only showcases the close collaboration between our design and engineering teams, but also the importance of keeping the end user in mind as we develop our products. Now, after years of development and careful design consideration, our 5th generation driver is test driving on public roads in the Bay Area and will eventually be rolled out into our Waymo One fleet. Wow, we've taken a long journey together today. We've looked at Waymo and our history, how our design has evolved over the last 10 years, and our latest Waymo driver. But what's next for us and our design team? Our Waymo driver will continue to power our many different commercial applications, whether that's moving people through our ride-hailing service Waymo One, moving goods through Waymo Via, or helping advance other industrial use cases with our laser-bearer honeycomb LiDAR. This technology can help accelerate a wide array of products now and in the future.
Say hello to Waymo, the world's most experienced driver. The Waymo Driver is what we call our self-driving technology. It has over a decade of real-world experience and has driven millions of miles. With Waymo One, we can make it safer and easier for you to get around, so you can spend more time doing what you love. And with Waymo Via, the same driver with the same deep experience can also deliver your packages or save you a trip to the dry cleaners. Or if you run a business, Waymo Via can help you transport whatever you need, making sure shipments arrive right when they're supposed to. This is the Waymo Driver, a driver that's reimagining transportation for all of us.
Thank you so much for your time today. Hopefully it helped provide more information on Waymo and how we design our Waymo driver. For any designers listening, we are growing our awesome team here, so go check out waymo.com/join us to see our open positions. And if you have any questions on our design process and what we talked about here today, head to Waymo's Instagram profile to submit yours. I'll be answering some of them later this week. Thanks so much.